and a coffee maker?
A barista is someone who is professionally, how can I say, he's professional in doing whatever he's doing. So he will love a cup of coffee, so he'll give it 100% of his shot.
Yeah.
But a coffee maker, just get coffee,
make,
drink,
and serve it.
He doesn't care. So a coffee maker doesn't have that caring part. But a barista, you have the passion. So I think you have the point now.
Well, guys, I think you get to know now what's the difference between a barista and a coffee maker. So let us know on the show you've watched, all the episodes of the Coffee Break, who's been the coffee maker and who is a barista. Use the hashtag the Coffee Break Show. So then, let's The year 2022, and at exactly 25 minutes past the hour of 11 a.m. we stream to you live and broadcast to you live the first ever coffee break show on House of Talent TV. How are you doing? My name is Amoni Muksa and I welcome you to the coffee break show. Has been your year. I mean, 2020 has not been easy, but 2021, you know, I always try to add up 2020 and 2021 as 1 year. But how is your 2022 starting? My name is Amoni Muksa once again, and I welcome you to the first ever coffee break show on House of Talent TV. Of course, I'm not riding alone today. I'm with my colleague today, the one and only Emma. How are you, man?
I'm okay. How you doing?
Do you also try to confuse 2021 and 2020?
No,
2020 and 2021 as 1 year?
The only problem comes when you're supposed to sign a check and you put 2021. You go to the bank and it bounces.
You know, the year 2019, 2020, and 2021.
Yeah.
They've been like so close like this.
Yeah, just
and
ran
so
through.
fast.
Yeah, they just went really through.
But how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay.
I see you pulled out the leather jacket today, looking good and everything.
African nasty,
Fresh hair.
black. Black is everything.
Yeah.
But how did you start your year, Emma?
My year was, it started okay. I was actually working till about 6 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, so I didn't even cross over to the new year properly. I went home at 6 and just slept.
Really?
Woke up in the afternoon.
So if they ask you what happened, like towards the entering of the new year,
I have
you totally
no
have no
idea.
idea. Anyway, today on this show, we're going to be recapping our events of last year. Like, how was the coffee break show last year? What were the best shows of our show on the coffee break? Me with Emma here, we shall be doing that. Emma,
Yeah.
what was your best show on the coffee break last year?
My best show, I think, was the one with Swabra Banks.
Swabra Banks.
Because she was the first lady to come on the show. You know, it had been a situation of we're trying to get ladies, but every time you try to get one, they come up with an excuse on that day. So you have to look for a guy. But when we got into contact with her, she actually came, you know, and there was a lot we learned from that show. For me, it was the best show, actually.
Swabra Banks. By the way, Swabra Banks is watching. Hey, Swabra Banks, thanks for watching House of Talent TV. But to me, the best show that we had here was when we first hosted under Dollar Isaac.
Yeah.
That show was so epic. You know how Isaac can talk from morning up to night, non-stop? We fought with him like to stop him to talk. You know, guy can talk. But the good thing is he knows what he talks about.
Yeah, true.
And our viewers appreciated what he was presenting to them. So that was part of my best show last year. But what are the memorable events that you had during the show?
Well, which ones can I pick?
Especially Swabra Banks, because you said it was the best part of your show.
First of all, it was good to have a cute person in the studio. We're used to just guys, you know, coming in, but
so guys are not cute,
guys are hot. It changed the vibe. Even the guys on the camera that day, you know, were on their A game.
The guy on the camera was very happy.
He was more happy. But I think the highlights for me were having those guys who came from the UAE, guys who came from Kuwait, you know, because they brought a lot of perspective into our industry here. There's a different way that things are done in the UAE, in Kuwait, and there's a different way that things are done in Uganda. So for them having to bridge that gap of they have worked in Uganda, then they have worked in the UAE, they have a better foresight, okay, of what can actually happen in this industry, more than just the guys who have worked here. And of course, we've also had guys who have worked here and have a lot of foresight, which is good. And another good moment we had, but electricity kind of messed us up that day. We hosted a young lady. She's a farmer. She does agriculture. But I remember that day the power was on, and it was a beautiful show that actually never got aired, you know, because of the power problems.
But you spoke about the fact that we got in various people from the diaspora, UAE, Kuwait, where these guys brought a different experience here. You know, the fact that these guys go beyond Uganda and get to see that experience, get to do coffee that side, is something unique. And now when they come down here and they share that with us, our viewers are always happy to see that. And today on the show, we're going to be having the same person. Actually, Emma spoke about people from UAE. We're having another barista who's from UAE. He's going to be sharing with us his experience. You know, you guys, the good thing about the coffee break is that we give you information right there, no charge. And now this guy is going to bring all the details about the art of making coffee. We shall be having a topical discussion, which I will introduce to you later on the show. But the guy we're going to be having is called Saddam Muchivi, senior barista, former senior barista with Enduro Coffee, and now is working in Arabia with a certain coffee shop that I will be telling you later on the show. So this guy is going to be here and is going to be giving all the details about coffee. So look out for that segment. That's the guy over there on your screen. Look out for that segment where we shall be sharing his story, Saddam Muchivi. Emma, the Coffee Break Show is a show where people have had positive reviews. You know, I always speak to people about this show and they're like, man, whenever I want to make coffee and I don't know what to do, I go back on YouTube, I go back on Facebook and look for a certain show where I saw that they were making this type of coffee and I try to relate. How good do you feel when you get such feedback?
I'll just give you a background. Before I started doing this show, I'd never made a cup of coffee. It was new to me. So one day they tell me to make a French press, and I'd never really, what is a French press in the first place? I'd never heard of these things. Okay, but when we started the show and started interacting with guys who would actually come with their stuff on the show and make coffee on the show, you know, I started to understand, oh, this is actually what goes on behind the scenes. You know, when you go to a coffee shop, you sit, order your coffee, they bring it, you drink and go, but you never understand what actually happens behind the scenes. So these guys actually bring their behind the scenes onto the show. You know, it was kind of an amazing thing for me, and not only for me, like you said, there are people out there who go back to the show and say, now, what is a V60? How do I make coffee with a V60? You know, how do I use a French press? How do I make a latte? And we have gone through all those things on the show, and not only me, but I believe that even the guys out there, you guys have learned a lot from the knowledge that we have had here. You have the senior barrister here.
Emma, Messiah himself. You like to call me a Messiah, but that day, you know, whenever I go, guys are like, you, the coffee Messiah. I'm like, you guys, what are you talking about? Emma has tried so much to bring me the coffee Messiah. But hey guys, you can let us know what was your best moment on the Coffee Break Show from the last year. But also, given the fact that this is the first Coffee Break Show this year of 2022, let us know what you feel like having the rest of the year, what you need to see on the show, who do you want to see on the show, what do you like about the show, what do you learn about the show. Well, so we are here with Emma and still going through the recap of last year. You see, Emma, the thing about the show that I also loved so much was the fact that it was the first ever, those words I'm repeating them, first ever coffee show in Uganda.
True.
That's record set. Not blowing our own trumpet, but the fact that House of Talent came up with a show whereby it's thinking about coffee, given the fact that coffee is the backbone of Uganda. For example, I was reading through the UCDA report last year, and these guys were like, you see, last year Uganda exported over 5,240,960 kilo bags of coffee, which are valued at $71.09 million US. Wow! Can you imagine how big?
That's big.
That is
really big.
Coffee exports for 12 months, which is like December, which in 2020 to November 2021, totaled to 6.65 million bags worth 681.49. I repeat this: $681.49 US. Guys, this is money. I don't know where we're putting all this money. Compared to 5.40 million bags worth 514.37 US million bags, which we exported the previous year, the other year, 2019. So the previous year of December and November were very, very good. So with this information that we receive, it shows that the Coffee Break Show has had impact, a huge impact on coffee development and also coffee production, coffee awareness in Uganda. And our goal is to see that Africa and worldwide, we are the #1 show of the coffee.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We're already there. So Emma, what do you think that these guys are doing with this kind of money? Because $618 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And now when I see, okay, I'm not trying to go political, but when I see Uganda that it's over like in a 61 loss, like, I mean, like the debt they're being demanded as a country, I wonder, why can't we utilize that money? This coffee is our backbone. And we get up there. So what do you think is being done with this money? Or what could be done with this kind of money?
There was a saying for 2021 that Kampala has refused. Yeah, but now if we're saying Kampala has refused and the figures you've just read there, that means there's actually a lot of money that, you know, is flowing in. And imagine that is just from one sector, that is coffee alone. Okay, and there are not that many people involved in coffee. That's the most amazing thing. I mean, you can count the number of baristas, you can count the number of farmers who are educated, leave alone the farmers who just grow it there and sell it not knowing, you know, what happens in the process. There is a lot of CEOs who own businesses. I believe your boss also. And with all that money flowing around, like you asked, where is this money going?
It's money going, yeah?
It's just that I think that people have not yet found a way to tap into that money. All right, so the money is just, it's swimming there, just waiting for people to tap into it. I mean, if I decided to start a coffee business today, or start a farm, or start a coffee shop or something like that, I believe that I would have tapped into that. Now, how much do I get out of it becomes the only question. Yeah, so you have to get into that door to tap into all that money, and it's there.
Yeah, it's there. Money is there.
Yeah.
The fact that we have all this money circulating is just tapping into the right vessel, so that can, you know, be helpful. Well, guys, I think we've given you our best show or moments of the coffee break show. Go down on our social media platforms and let us know what is, or what was your best show throughout the year 2020, and so far 2022, what's the best thing you've seen so far? Well, our social media platforms on Twitter, it's HTV1Uganda. You can go up there and follow us on Twitter, but also YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube. That's House of Talent UG. You can also go there and subscribe. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can always get our content everywhere on YouTube. The word or that name is House of Talent Uganda. But also we're streaming live on Facebook as House of Talent UG. Go there and follow our Facebook page so that you can get to watch our videos whenever you miss them when we're live. So guys, we're going to go into a short commercial break. Don't you go away.
What are some of those things that we can do, all right, to make sure that Uganda becomes a nation that actually consumes its own coffee? Because we have, you know, the Bubu, by Uganda, okay? So how do we get ourselves into that state where we actually, before thinking of exporting our coffee, actually get to consume our own coffee? How do we get there?
First of all, we need to train our people.
Yeah.
So we need more training, more sensitization about coffee.
Yeah.
You know, those guys that came first before us, they have that, like, that negative side of coffee. Like telling someone that coffee will, like, you will lose sleep when you take coffee. You can't. It just keeps your body awake, not only the mind. Me have to take water every morning. Yeah? So if I take water every morning, I can take like 5, 6, 7 cups of coffee and I sleep properly. Yeah. So we need to sensitize our people. Yeah. And we need to give them an example that is true. Yeah. Ethiopia is a good exporter, but quality coffee in Ethiopia comes from Migachafe. That quality coffee is consumed within the country. So you first appreciate what you're growing before you take it outside. So you need to train so much. from the farm level. Like 80% of our farmers, they just grow, sell, but they have even never tasted the coffee. Like a much percentage, a good percentage of our farmers. So from the farm level to the general level, we need to train. That is that's what we need to do. Even though we put each coffee at a lesser price, like the consumption will not go high. So we need to first train. Then other things will be coming up. But training is the key to everything. Like we need to sensitize our our Ugandans good about coffee. Like after taking coffee, you feel this, you get this. Like we appreciate what you are growing. So you see Ugandans taking more of the matoke. Like they appreciate more than sending it.
Okay.
So training is the key to everything.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still watching House of Talent TV, and the show is known as the Coffee Break Show with me, Amon Mukisa, right here with the one and only Emma.
Amon, what's up?
I'm just here, man. You know, the vibe of being around coffee is something that's epic. Given the fact that you get to, smell those scents, get to read about certain information about coffee, is something that I like about being in coffee. What do you like
really
about
amazing.
Being around coffee?
Coffee itself is a community.
Like actually the word coffee is people. The phrase.
So it's like a community, especially in Uganda. There's a particular community of people who actually take coffee. It's not yet, coffee hasn't really seeped its way through, our Ugandan culture. So there's just a group of people who take it. Even when you go to the cafes, there's a particular group of people who take it. So with every community, it has its own nuances. There are relationships that are formed. Like I would never have met you, if it wasn't for coffee. That was the initial thing that allowed us to meet. And met guys like Isaac of Brew Plus, met many amazing guys. So the starting point was coffee. Then it has all these branches of creating relationships, creating different kind of business ideas, different kind of content. What we are doing right now is because of coffee. So coffee is not only a drink, it's not only an export, it's an amazing product that can actually birth a lot of things. And we can see the results even, right here, right now.
Well, what would you say, like you've hosted various shows about coffee, over 20 shows about coffee. What would you say that we are lacking in the coffee industry in Uganda? You as a person, like according to the experience you've had and also the interactions you've had with various people, what would you say that it's that one thing that we are lacking to get up there?
I think the thing we're lacking is unity. Because I realized with most of the guys who actually came on the show, you have a certain set of baristas, then you have a set of roasters, then you have the farmers.
But sorry to interject in there. But you see, in coffee, it's okay. It's the same general thing, but there are segments. Like you find a barista is very, very good at being a barista, but you find a roaster is very, very good at being a roaster. For example, the guest we are going to have, Saddam Muchibe, is very good at being a barista, but it doesn't stop him from getting just an idea about roasting or about farming. But you find, remember the show you had with Abdul? Abdul is a good roaster. Very, very good. But when you bring him to the barista part of view, he'll be sketchy, But when you bring him to roasting, he'll just murder you. He has all that knowledge over there. So the thing is, the unit you're talking about is hard to achieve because everyone is like concentrating. Of course, it's a chain,
Yeah.
but everyone is trying to concentrate in their department so that they bring out the best thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you say that we are lacking that unity part.
Yeah, so I like how you said it. They actually call it a chain.
Yeah.
So if there is just one breakage in the chain, it divides both
Yeah,
sides.
yeah.
You get that? Okay. So I don't know. I don't remember who it was. He came and said that even with the UCDA and other organizations that deal with coffee, okay, you have a situation whereby, let's say, the UCDA does not really recognize baristas. Yeah, you can go and ask any barista if they have been to the UCDA office and had a discussion with them about, you know, what their profession, and I know 5 out of 10 they'll tell you, I've never been to UCDA. Okay, so that's the unity that I'm talking about. If the roasters and the UCDA and the farmers can actually come together. I know there are different cooperatives here and there, but you know the thing with cooperatives also, there's a cooperative of this side. It's like having a circle of this side, then having a circle of that side. They never really get together. I believe that with the chain, it has to stay interlinked in a way that everyone feeds everyone, if you get it. The farmer has to feed the roaster, who will feed the baristas, who will feed the export. But if me, the roaster, I wake up one day and say, I have beef for this one, baristas. You see, it causes a problem, right? If the farmer says, you know what, I'm going to give these guys bad product, okay? Good product doesn't come. At the end of it, the person who's consuming the coffee will say, man, this is trashy coffee, actually. You get that, yeah? So there should actually be a forum, which we're trying to do with the Coffee Break Show. We're trying to make a forum whereby everyone is seen as equal and everyone plays their part so that the end result is a very good one. Yeah, so unity in that way.
This question was for Saddam, who's going to be on the show, but I will also pose it to you. I was reading an article where the #1 barista champion in the world, in Africa, not worldwide, in Africa, Martin Shabaya, was here in Uganda recently, and I was reading his interview with a certain outlet. And he said, Ugandan coffee is the best that I've used all the times I've competed. And he thinks that we can do better. So why are we not getting to that point whereby we Ugandans use our coffee? This is Kenyan. Okay, it's Africa, we're brothers, but this is a Kenyan guy who's using our coffee to be up there. Why are we not having Ugandans, we Ugandans, use our coffee to get to that international scale?
I attended a branding seminar some time back, and the lady who was hosting it said something that really struck me. She said that in Uganda, each country, each ethnicity, different people have different traits. And she said that in Uganda we're mediocre.
Mediocres?
Totally mediocre.
That's a big word. Eh?
I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you. All of us say, as long as I have my kamane to eat today, I've paid my rent, I'm set. As long as I can get my kamane to buy a piece of land, put a house on it, get married, I'm set. Okay? Mediocrity. As long as I can do this, I'm set. So as long as we can export coffee, as long as we can sell it here and there and make some small money here and there, we are okay. You see that kind of mediocrity? Yet you have countries like Ethiopia, you have countries like Brazil and other South American countries who have taken this whole thing to a whole new level. And the funny thing about it is that people take Ugandan coffee, then rebrand it and say this is Kenyan coffee, this is Brazilian coffee. Then they do something better with our product that we could have done. But what did we get out of it? Oh, we got some kamane, you know, and as we are cool with it.
We're cool with our money.
Yes, yet we can actually explore more on our product and make more money from it, create more opportunities from it. So for me, I would say we have a mediocrity mindset.
Well, guys, I'll pose this question to you. How do we get out of this mediocrity kind of relationship or kind of working style, whereby everything that we try to do is just a joke? You know, that's maybe the right word. For example, I was having a conversation with one guy. This guy is a tech guy. So what he decided to do was, during the lockdown, he was seated over there. You know, everyone now was in their homes. So he came up with an idea of like creating up a small machine for farmers which can detect like the alkalinity of the soil, how much fertility is in the soil, so that you can anticipate how much yield are you going to get at the end of the season. For example, if you have like maybe 1 acre of coffee and you use this machine, you just plant it into the soil and it does what it does, and at the end of it all, it will show you that your soil needs this much of fertile soils or fertile fertilizers. It needs much of this water, you can add, irrigate it, so that at the end of it all, it also calculates for you that you're going to get 60 tons or 60 bags of coffee. Such innovations, why can the government come through to sponsor, at least give a hand to these guys? Because this guy has used his equipment, has used his values and resources, but he has managed to do all this. So just imagine we had a government come in, sponsor or give a hand to these guys, and we know that if we have over like maybe 6 acres of land of coffee, and this farmer is anticipating maybe like over 150 kilos, 60 kilos of bags of coffee at the end of the season, and we increase our export of coffee, but also increase our domestic use of coffee, because we're having plenty of coffee coming through on the market, and through the coffee break show we can also make awareness of coffee to the people. So what can be done to help, or what do you think the government or anyone else there, because it doesn't necessarily be the government, can do to help such guys who come up with such innovations?
Yeah, I mean, let's take the setup of Uganda's education. We go to school, we study, we're expected to come out and look for jobs. Okay, we have been put in that mindset of we have to look for a job.
Look for a job.
Yes, you have to look for it. Okay, then you have this group of guys who actually sit down and invent something. Okay, and like let's say the guys of Safe Border, you know, during the lockdown, guys came up with very many good ideas, some which were actually used. So there's that group of guys who actually come up with all these ideas, but the limiting factor for them is maybe the resources, the financial resources, the manpower and all this. But remember, we have been taught to do what? Look for jobs. We have not been taught that you can create. And you know, put it out in the market and actually be a what? Let's say be an employer. Okay, so for such a guy, you find that there are people at the top there who will look at his invention and ask themselves, okay, what can I get from this guy? Okay, how much money? What can I rip off from this guy down there? And the guy down there is not willing to give them anything because it's his idea. He should rip off from it. So the guys up there will just sit on that idea and be like, you know, it's a good idea, but it doesn't make sense for us because it won't make money for us. Okay, they don't see the bigger picture. They don't see that a farmer somewhere out there in Kasese or wherever is the one who's actually going to prosper. And that causes a chain effect of when that farmer prospers, the next guy in the chain will also prosper, and Uganda as a whole. So this guy is just looking at how can I put money into my pocket. So they will sit on all, I believe in every campus, especially the guys doing engineering, agriculture engineering and all these things, guys have ideas, but people are sitting on them.
Well, guys, take the conversation on our social media platforms. That's Twitter as #HTVUganda and Facebook, House of Talent UG, plus YouTube, but use the hashtag #TheCoffeeBreak on House of Talent TV. Let us know how can we engage these people who have ideas so that we have a bigger picture. We come as a union or a unison together so that we have a bigger picture of something that we are doing great here in Uganda, especially for coffee. Well, coming up is Saddam Muchiwi. He's going to be letting us know how best can we brew coffee, and we shall be also talking about how best can we have women in the coffee industry as Uganda. Well, don't you go away. We're going in for a short commercial break and we'll see you soon.
Get how much amount you need. In coffee industry, there's no like barista should get this amount of money. No, it depends on your knowledge. What you know is what you get. You cannot be like having junior experience and asking for experienced one. No. You can join now. Good thing, everything is simple. It's easy. Don't sit there and say, oh no, I'm scared to join this. No, it's very simple. You can make. Yeah, it's very simple. It's not so difficult. Simple, very simple, very enjoyable. You can do everything when you're enjoying. You can do your coffee. You can serve your customers. Coffee create friendship. Coffee gives you a job. Even if you are not working in a cafe, maybe you can go in different field, but still in coffee industry. Yes.
Let's pull up the camera.
Coffee.
You have to know each equipment. You have to know the brew ratio. Actually, the brew ratio is I
very
think
important.
the most important. Brew ratio now most people may not understand. It is the ratio of
Water.
the coffee powder to water,
water,
and the yield. Water in this article will bring us into the yield. If I put 10 grams of coffee into my portafilter, how much of it am I?
water
Exactly.
do I need to add?
So if you don't master the brew ratio,
Oh.
everything is going to turn out a mess.
Yeah.
You understand? Even if you know that knowledge and you don't master the brew ratio.
Yeah.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still watching House of Talent Television. This is the Coffee Break Show with me, Amon Mukisa. And without further delay, let me introduce to you the one and only barista Sadam. Sadam, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
How have you been?
I'm doing good.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Does it still apply? Happy New Year.
Of course, we are
Still
still
new.
in January. Yeah, so it's still new.
Are you Ugandan?
Of course I am.
Ah man, the hair looks
Forget about the hair.
so in
You can just put
English,
something
Mazungu
small.
Zungu,
Yeah.
Where have you been, Sadam?
Good. So I came back for a vacation. Yeah. So I've been working from UAE.
Okay.
So after a period of time, I decided to come back and chill.
Well, guys, like I told
enjoy
you guys, Sadam is a former senior barista at Enduro Coffee, and also right now a head barista in a certain coffee shop that will tell us more about it. And Sadam,
Yeah.
how long did you work with Enduro Coffee?
Almost, I think, 4 years. Yeah, I joined the Enduro Coffee after school. That was in 2015, December. So, and in the first I joined it as a cleaner. Yeah. But there was this guy called Calvin Chiinji. Now he's working in Dubai. Big up Calvin. So he introduced me to the coffee industry. I used to see him the way he's doing things. So one day I told him, I think I can do whatever you're doing. It's very easy. Like, really? Can you come and challenge me? Like, yeah. The first day, so he told me to tamp. In the first place, I didn't know what stamping is. So I just, with a lot of energy.
Well, a good thing for guys on the coffee break now,
Yeah.
they know what tramping is because we've
Of
taught
course.
all of
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, mashallah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with time, he started to train me, and here I am. I'm a great barista. I
You're a
believe
great
in
barista.
myself. Yeah.
But you know what's funny? All the baristas we've had on this show,
Yeah.
the story is quite similar. Like, no barista joined the coffee industry without like having an inspiration from someone, but they just go direct from somewhere. What I'm trying to say is that no one has come on the show and said, I went to the coffee industry or to be a barista
Like
because I
normal-
wanted it.
Yeah.
So even your story is the same, like you started as a cleaner,
Alright,
then Calvin was here, and then he told you, can you compete me or can you outgrow me?
Yeah,
And
in
you're
fact,
like,
he
"Why
said, I think you'll be a good barista.
not?"
Yeah. So he decided to pave me in the same direction. And he's the man actually behind my story.
Speaking about a man behind your story, you know, when I'm here with Sadam, you guys don't know the story behind me becoming a barista.
Okay.
Guys, allow me to introduce to you the guy who trained me. He's a mentor, he's everything. Has trained me how to become a better barista, because when I joined the coffee industry, these are the guys who trained me. So here we're chilling with the big boys, okay? So when I'm with Sadam, it's always a vibe, it's always a conversation, no pressure. So today, Sadam, we're going to brew, or you're going to give us a tutorial about a V60.
Sure.
And give us information, like literally the art of brewing that cup of coffee or using that equipment to brew coffee. But before we do that, let's first speak about the art of brewing coffee or making coffee using an espresso machine. Most times we have baristas come on the show and they're talking about things, but when you go deep down, you realize that they're just gambling. Can you give us like, what does it take to have a good cup of coffee using an espresso machine?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So literally, it's all about extraction. That's the drama. It starts from there. Extraction. So you need a set of few things, because in brewing or in coffee extraction, you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you need a scale to measure the amount of coffee you're putting in. That's dosing, yeah?
Yeah, dosing.
Yeah, then you need also a timer. You have to calculate. You
And
have
this
to know
is
the
on a
time.
professional part of...
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, let me first go back years before. Here in Uganda, we don't have these sets. You just wake up in the morning, start the machine, grinder, pull coffee, ta-ta-ta-ta. You don't know what you're doing. You tamp, then you go. Now, the challenge came my first day in UAE. It was a challenge.
We're getting to that. Your
I'm
experience
skipping
in
the
UAE.
part. All right, then let's go first back to the topic.
Yeah.
So you need the scale, as I told you. You need the timer. Then you're good to go.
Scale, timer,
Yeah.
and you're good to go.
Yeah. Of course, with even a cup. Yeah, and then the whole setup. But these two things are very important.
What does
So-
it take like to have because we've gotten all those sets, timer, the grinder, the cup, and the scale. So what does it take for me to use these things to get a good cup of coffee?
It just needs your presence.
Man, I can be present and things that I'm making, you know,
no. Coffee is all about time and what you put in. So when I talk about your presence, it means you have to be there and you have to look at every step. You mean I think you get me.
Yeah, I get it. Like literally, you're saying, me being physically present is not only enough.
Yeah.
I have to be there mentally and physically.
Exactly.
So that I know maybe if I do this, the repercussion is this, right?
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, Saddam, you know, what I admire about you is that whenever you're trying to make anything like a beverage, you give it 100%. Yeah? So, briefly take us through espresso worlds, like to have, because espresso is the mother beverage of all.
It's about foundation.
Since we're talking about the espresso machine. So how do I get that good espresso cup?
All right. After having those what I've told you, then you have to grind your coffee. You put on the scale, you tear. But you need to start with some amount of coffee you're dosing. Remember, we are dealing with specialty. So you need at least to start from a higher dose of 20. It's not very high, but it's normal. 20, you dose with 20. Then you have to know the energy you're putting on there. Because before you extract, you need to lock some parameters. So if you say you're using a dose of 20, it should be 20. And before you change it to maybe 18 or 19 grams of coffee you're putting in the basket, you need to first note. Whatever you're doing. So if it was 20 in the first place, you have to note down it's 20. What I've skipped, you need also a pen and a paper. If not, a notebook.
What? Pen and paper on station?
Pen and paper on station.
Give it to me.
It's called consistency. You have to.
You just started getting amazing, eh? Pen and paper on station. Consistency.
Remember we are dealing with mind, so you might forget.
And I note down everything.
So it's better you note down. So if it was 20, I'll start with 20.
Okay.
Then you dose it, you extract, you test your coffee. If you find it not that much good, so you have to change something.
Okay.
But you have to first check on your recordings, where did I go wrong?
Where you noted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it will be, it will be even very easier for you to know where you went wrong and you fix it within a matter of time. Sometimes the grind setting, it could be right, but the pressure you have used, maybe it's hard. So you have to reduce it to a lighter one or a medium energy.
And you have a good cup of espresso.
Of course.
Well, I told you guys we're having the art of making coffee right here, and Saddam is here giving us the nits and gritties of making a good cup of coffee. Saddam, let's talk about baristas in Uganda. What do you think that Ugandan baristas are lacking? Because I'm sure you've gone through various stations, especially in Uganda. What do you think that they're lacking to be good baristas?
I think they are not lacking, but the industry is not supporting them.
Have they done what's enough to have an effect on the industry, or to have pressure from the industry to support them?
That question goes back to you now. You're on the ground.
I'm on the ground, but
you're on
the
ground. But in my own terms, I would say the industry. First of all, a barista is a person who works for a company. Right? And most companies, they don't have the required instruments. You understand? So if a company can support, it can provide the necessary instruments, a barista will be on this standard.
But Saddam, have you heard about a saying, a bad workman blames his tools?
Yeah, but not in Uganda.
Okay, I know you have instruments, equipments that are not that good. But am I using these instruments to at least say, okay, he has tried. Are we there? Are Ugandan baristas there? Or they're just, okay, I know how to make this, but am I making it right? To your experience, you're not sure?
I'm not sure, but anyway, I haven't yet visited most of the coffee shops around. Yeah, I've been in the villages.
The villages,
some
since it's your
coffee
holiday.
farms, yeah. So maybe I'll give them a tour around. Yeah, but if you're a barista and you don't use the tools around you to make a good coffee, we should blame you, right?
Then you're a bad barista.
You're a bad barista. In fact, you're a coffee maker, not a barista. We call them coffee makers.
What's the difference between a barista and a coffee maker?
A barista is someone who is professionally, how can I say, he's professional in doing whatever he's doing. So he will love a cup of coffee, so he'll give it 100% of his shot.
Yeah.
But a coffee maker, just get coffee,
make,
drink,
and serve it.
He doesn't care. So a coffee maker doesn't have that caring part. But a barista, you have the passion. So I think you have the point now.
Well, guys, I think you get to know now what's the difference between a barista and a coffee maker. So let us know on the show you've watched, all the episodes of the coffee break, who's been the coffee maker and who is a barista. Use the hashtag the coffee break show. Sadam, let's talk about your experience in UAE. How was it like to transition from Uganda to UAE?
You mean the journey or the
like the experience to adjust
It wasn't that much hard because before I joined at UAE, I used to work with Calvin.
Your mentor?
Actually, I used to work with Calvin, then yes, my mentor, then a barista, Saint Alvin. That guy is nice.
Big up, Saint Alvin.
Big up guy. So when we used to work together, we used to read different articles concerning coffee. I remember you remember?
Yeah, I do remember. You know, we're family here, so whatever he's talking about is like I'm envisioning it here and I'm seeing it how it was. But for you guys, for the benefit of you guys, at least we are storytelling this so that you get to know the experience that Sadam has gone through and what has been his best moments in transitioning from Uganda to this. So after this short commercial break, we are going to be starting from right there to get to know how Sadam transitioned from Uganda and what was his experience in UAE. But also in this segment that's coming right up, we're going to be brewing our coffee and Sadam will be giving us all the details on how best we can brew this coffee. So don't you go away, we shall be right back.
Coffee industry is very wide, it's very big, it's very full of opportunities. Don't sit there and say, I have nothing to do. You can join the industry. You can get whatever you want. If you give it time, invest in it. By giving it time, don't look for money, don't look for big salary at first. First learn. After learning, you'll get how much amount you need. In coffee industry, there's no like, barista should get this amount of money. No, it depends on your knowledge. What you know is what you get. You cannot be like having junior experience and asking for experienced one. No. You can join now. Good thing, everything is simple. It's easy. Don't sit there and say, oh no, I'm scared to join this. No, it's very simple. You can make. Yeah, it's very simple. It's not so difficult. Simple, very simple. Very enjoyable. You can do everything when you're enjoying. You can do your coffee. You can serve your customers. Coffee create friendship. Coffee gives you a job. Even if you are not working in a cafe, maybe you can go in different field, but still in coffee industry. Yes.
Let's pull up the camera.
coffee industry is very wide, it's very big, it's very full of opportunities. Don't sit there and say, I have nothing to do. You can join the industry. You can get whatever you want. If you give it time, invest in it. By giving it time, don't look for money, don't look for big salary at first. First learn. After learning, you'll get how much amount you need. Yeah. In coffee industry, there's no like, barista should get this amount of money. No, it depends on your knowledge. Yeah. What you know is what you get. You cannot be like having junior experience and asking for experienced one. No. You can join now. Good thing, everything is simple. Yeah. It's easy. Don't sit there and say, oh no, I'm scared to join this. No, it's very simple. You can make. Yeah, it's very simple. It's not so difficult. Simple, very simple, very enjoyable. You can do everything when you're enjoying. You can do your coffee. You can serve your customers. Coffee create friendship. Yeah. Coffee gives you a job. Even if you are not working in a cafe, maybe you can go in different field, but still in coffee industry. Yeah. Yes.
Let's put up the camera.
You're still watching the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent TV, and welcome back from that short commercial break. My name is Amon Mukisa, right here on the Coffee Break Show. Well, I need to remind you guys that you need to go on our social media platforms. That's Twitter as HTV1UG, and follow us. You get to see the good content, good videos, good episodes that we put up for you out there. And also Facebook, you can go down there, and YouTube as House of Talent Uganda. You know, this show is watched by a quite number of people, and just read through your comments. I have Mbonye Bright Richards is saying, please Saddam, give us all the best that we can, because we're anticipating for the best brewing tutorial. That's Mbonye Bright Richards. But also Rosie Jones is here saying, go my brother, I can't wait to see your tutorial. And Adola Isaac says, nice show my brother Saddam, I can't wait to see also the tutorial. And there is what's his name? This is a funny name. Maureen K. Okay, it's not funny. There is. I can read it. Monica says, I don't know Saddam from where he started to brew coffee and where is he right now. So basically, she wants like the profile. Saddam, we had skipped that.
Okay.
Where did you start from, like, to grow coffee before? I mean, to join the coffee industry, like before you joined Enduro Coffee.
All right.
Like, where did you go to school, or you just came out of the blue and you were inspired by Calvin?
No. Of course, I went to school.
Which school was that?
My primary.
The primary side of it, and then the coffee school part of it.
Anyway, I started in Entebbe, but I'm a born of Mbale.
Mbale.
Yeah, so.
Bulai.
They say Mulembe. Mulembe, Makoa, Malai.
Okay.
But I'm not a Mugiso.
Okay.
So I'm in Uganda by birth. Bampita Saddam. Era muje bali mwenna abatulaba. Yeah, so I grew up in Entebbe. Yeah, I was raised by a single mother, and at the age of around 10, I crossed to Mbali, and I used to stay with my grandmother after the death of our father. So the two parents, I know two actually, my mother, then my grandfather. Sorry, my grandmother. They're the one who raised me. So I joined there, my senior one, in there is a school, it's called Manafa High. It's in the middle of the city. So, yeah.
In the middle of the city of Mbale?
The middle of, yeah.
So you're the pioneer, the celeb in Mbale? Because it's in the city?
No, I'm a quiet guy. I wasn't the celeb, but I had my little profile around, yeah. So, I didn't go, I didn't do higher education, so I ended in senior 4. I tried to go to senior 5, but you know, school fees issues. So I had to branch somewhere.
Let's talk about you going to Mbale at the age of 10. Were they growing coffee, like your grandma and mother? Were they growing coffee? Because Mbale is known also for growing coffee that side.
No, actually, no, we didn't. Yeah.
So at the age of 10, 15, you never knew about coffee?
No, I knew about coffee, that's coffee, but I didn't care what's coffee. For me, before I was a tea drinker. Okay. Every day, even if there is no sugar in the tea, I'll take tea because I love tea. Okay. Understand? So at the age of 20.
After senior 4?
Yes, after senior 4. I started to look around what I can do. Yeah. So in my vacation of senior 4, I first went to, there was a place there in Kampala. They do furnitures, you know. It's called, it's in Wise actually. So I started to gamble around for 3 months, but I knew there was no future here.
You didn't feel the thing?
I didn't feel the vibe. Yeah. So not cheetah, you understand? Not cheetah. So I went back to Mbale. I was stuck somewhere, you know. I was in the middle. I didn't know what to do. Yeah, I slept from morning until evening, waking up, looking for what to do. Nothing. Then there was this lady. She's a friend of Madame Gloria. She's called forgotten. Maggie.
Maggie.
Yeah, Mrs. Maggie.
Maggie is Gloria is the CEO of Enduro, so they are friends. Eh?
Yeah, they are friends. Maggie, she's working with Jenga projects in Mbale. She's the vice president there. So she was my neighbor. So one day she came to me like, Saddam, the year is ending. You have to plan for the next year. What's your plan? So like, what are you talking about? Do I have to have a plan for the next year? I asked her. So she told me, yes, you're a man, you have to think ahead. So I told him, but I don't have a job. Like, do you want work? Like, yes, anything. Do for me a CV. So here was another drama. I didn't know how to do a CV. I'm being honest. So she told me you have to, I will not help you. Like, okay, so I went to Google. I did some little research. I did one, I gave her.
You wrote a CV?
Yes. So the following morning, she told me, are you ready for the interview? Like, do I have one? Like, yes. So I asked her in the interview, what they ask? Like, you go and figure it out, your man. Like, okay. So yeah, at that moment I knew naino kubeera omusajja. Singa ebyabagisumba kusala mbalo. No, it was another topic of life, you know. So I went, Madame Gloria, she invited me over, so she sat me down.
How do you get, okay, Maggie knew Gloria, but how do you, okay, when you wrote the CV, you sent it to Gloria?
No. To Madame Maggie.
To Aggie? Maggie.
Yeah, so she gave it to Madame Gloria. So they called me over for the interview. By then there were three people, let me say, Madame Gloria. Then there was this white lady. By then she was a manager in Ndiro. And then there was also another lady. She was called Madame Penina. All of these two, I think they left. The white lady, then Madame Penina. So yeah.
What was the reaction when you got a call? Because you had suffered from going to the furniture store, and then went back to the ginger growing in Mbale, and now you get a call, you're coming in the city. What was the feeling like to know that you're coming back in the city and you have a good job you're going to get?
Actually, I didn't know that I was coming in the city.
You thought you're going to work from that side?
Yeah, and I did for some few months. So I was given a chance to work as a cleaner. They asked me, are you willing to work? To start immediately or tomorrow? Like, I can start now. I was so eager. Yes, I wanted to work, you know. Yeah, so my first day they showed me around, so I started to clean. Then Calvin saw me and he liked me. I think that was the chance also to get
to the coffee section.
Yeah, so he liked me. So I started to do my fully paid job as a cleaner, but I could spare some time to learn. So he started to teach me slowly by slowly. I remember he had exams, so this was my chance to prove the company that I can do. So they wanted to bring a guy from the city to take over his position, since he had some exams. Yeah, but I told him, no, I can handle.
Confidence.
Yes, I had the confidence.
That's like after how long of you training? Like
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Underground training. Underground training.
But 3 months is quite a good time for you, like, to train hands-on. It was a good time for you, I think, to adjust. To come out and say, I'm confident I can do this, right?
Yeah.
So after you giving you the mantle to do coffee, because you said there are coffee makers and baristas, for you to become a barista, how did you feel? How did you receive that?
The first day on the duty, I was so nervous. I could shake. That.
What was your experience like? What unique moment do you remember? What you did, like, and you like, whenever you remember about it, you laugh. Did I do this?
Yeah, I remember. They asked for a mocha. I gave them I gave them a latte. Then there was this lady. She was called, who I've forgotten. She came shouting, "Sit down, sit down!"
She was the manager?
No. She was a waiter.
A waiter.
Yeah, she was a waiter. A mocha, like, no. So she started to teach me. But I knew, but it's just, I was nervous, you know? I was nervous since it was my first time to take over a station. Yeah. Now like, okay, teach me. Like, okay, you put this, after putting the chocolate, you should extract the espresso, mix it together, then steam the milk and pour the latte. Like, just like that. I knew what to do, but I wasn't thinking.
Because you were nervous.
Yes.
Well, guys, that's one thing, by the way. If you become successful, especially as a youth in this world, one thing you have to do is be confident of yourself. Because the moment you're not confident, everything will bypass you. But also, like, not undermine things. Because you see how Saddam came as a cleaner. He didn't mind about cleaning, but he knew what he wanted. He wanted to work. He had that zeal. So he ended up, like, going to the coffee section from being a cleaner. Now he's the big guy here doing coffee.
Exactly.
Quite a story, man.
Yeah, so it's all about the confidence
Yeah.
and being humble.
Being humble.
Yeah, these two things pushed me. Yeah.
Okay, let's first speak. You have become a barrister now. And how long did you do it before you decided to go to UAE? In Uganda?
I went in UAE in...
No, like, how long did you be a barrister in Uganda?
For 2 years and 8 months, let me say.
2 years and 8 months.
Yeah.
And you have all this knowledge. I've had guys come
No.
here.
Before I went to UAE,
Yeah.
this is the experience I had in Uganda. So now I'm having experience of 5 to 6 years
5 to 6 years.
in the industry.
You have all this information, you're confident.
Yeah.
We've had guys be in coffee like for 10 years, but they literally can't even explain what a coffee bean is.
Yeah.
What are you doing that's unique for you to know all these things?
Of course, every day you have to do some little articles. You know, coffee is growing, so there is new ideas. So if you don't do any research and sit and relax, of course you stay there. So you have to look for it. Yeah, people pay a lot of money to have this information. I have a friend of mine is a trainer in Dubai. Yeah, he's having
A training school?
Yes, a training school. So he told me he invested himself approximately to 60 Ugandan million. He had to put in himself.
In Dubai?
Yeah.
To train? 60 million?
Yeah, 60 million.
That's quite expensive,
60.
man.
That's what he told me. And I believe. Because one day I wanted to upgrade. So roughly I used 3.5. Yes, a cost of let me say 6 hours. It costed me 3
point something million.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to join the coffee industry, you say what you need to like invest. It's not just a matter of like coming out and you become a coffee maker. You need to invest so that you can become a barista, right, Sada?
Yes, a professional barista.
A professional barista.
And you know, those are all stages. In the first place, coffee. Coffee maker.
Coffee maker.
Yeah, but because of passion, pushing harder, then you become a barista. You know, so from being a barista, there is also a pro
barista.
Yeah, professional barista. So you have to, invest in yourself more, then you upgrade.
Well, you spoke about farms in Uganda, because I was asking you about like what experience have you had in coffee bars that you've visited, but you've been so much in farms. How do you find the farming practices deep down in our farms? Are they giving us good coffee, or they're doing bad practicing methods for farming?
No, they are doing amazing job.
Amazing job.
Yeah. Before I went to UAE, I visited some farms. So in the first place, what I saw, I wasn't happy. But when I went back the second time, I was really happy. The way they take care of their crops, the processing ways, the way they put in on the African beds,
Raised beds.
Yeah. Back then they just used to sweep on the ground to make sure the ground is clean. Just remove the leaves, little sticks, cow's shit, Then they pour the coffee. This time around I was so happy. They made their beds, so they put coffee on top. Under some hours, then they take it off. They know what they are doing, But back then, yeah, one day I got a goat lying in coffee beans. I was like, what? You never get to tour. It's not good. But now there is a lot of changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what were you really looking for in the farms as you went deep down to the farms?
I have a friend now, he's a producer. It's called Semakula Derek. Yeah, he's working with Chanzo Farm, washing station. So I went to CP Falls.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are doing their production that side.
So you had literally gone to see what's happening down there.
Yes, what's happening.
Okay.
So we did the harvest together, and I was so happy with the team which I worked with. They knew what they were doing, so they could look only for the ripe cherry. They could select the ripe one. In case they pick the green one, they have somewhere where they used to go and sort it from.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was part of it, interacting with the children, and what surprised me, I got a six-year-old kid. He's not in school. He's selecting beans, but he does know what he's doing. He was picking only the red one. If he sees a leaf, he could pick it out and throw. He knows that it's bad. So that information really made me happy.
Wow.
Which means whatever they are doing, it's on point. Yeah.
Maybe before we go for a break, I want to tap your idea on who is the most important person in the coffee chain. Is it a farmer? Actually, among these two people, is it a farmer or the barista?
That's a tricky one. But in my own words, I would say all of us.
No,
boss, all of us. I'll tell you, all of us.
Hey.
I speak for the coffee,
Okay.
not the farmer.
Yeah.
Okay? But if a farmer does a shit job, I cannot represent it.
But if a farmer does bad coffee and he brings it on my station, I can do whatever whatever it takes at least to have good coffee out of it. No, it can't. But if a farmer produces good coffee and I make it bad, it will be bad coffee.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go for
no.
We shall continue this conversation later.
Boss. We are all accountable. So for me, I'll stick on my 2 points.
We're all important.
Important, yes.
Well, guys, who is the most important person in the coffee chain? Go dive down on our social media platforms, Twitter at HTV1UG, and tell us who is most important in the coffee chain. The coffee break, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Coffee industry is very wide, it's very big, it's very full of opportunities. Don't sit there and say, I have nothing to do. You can join the industry. You can get whatever you want. If you give it time, invest in it.
You have to know each equipment. You have to know the brew ratio. Actually, the brew ratio is
very important.
The most important. Brew ratio now most people may not understand. It is the ratio of
water.
the coffee powder to water, and
yes.
the yield. Water in this article will bring us into the yield. If I put 10 grams of coffee into my portafilter, how much of it am I exactly? So if you don't master the brew ratio, everything is going to turn out a mess. You understand? Even if you know that knowledge and you don't master the brew ratio. You have to know each equipment. You have to know the brew ratio. Actually, brew ratio is
very important.
The most important. Brew ratio now most people may not understand. It is the ratio of
water.
the coffee powder to water, and the yield. Water in this article will bring us into the yield. If I put 10 grams of coffee into my portafilter, how much of it am I exactly? So if you don't master the brew ratio, oh, everything is going to turn out a mess. You understand? Even if you know that knowledge and you don't master the brew ratio.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still watching House of Talent Television, and this is the coffee break with me, Amon Mukisa. And my guest today is Saddam Muchibi, a former senior barista with Enduro Coffee, and now a head barista with
Algawa Arabia.
Algawa Arabia. That one was confusing.
Algawa. You should feel it here.
I should feel it here. Algawa.
Yes.
Is that right?
Gawa means coffee, actually. Means coffee.
It means coffee in Arabic.
In Arabic, yeah. In Arabic side.
Gawa. You know how to speak Arabic, huh?
No. It's not an easy language, bro. Yeah. But so, of course I know little words,
So before we went to break, we were talking about like who is the most important person in the coffee chain. And behind the camera, of the camera, we were having a conversation of the fact that we talking about the chain, and now we are bringing out only 2 people, which means no longer chain. Okay, so now Saddam, who is the most important person in the coffee chain with all the people involved in the chain? So that's now a complete chain.
Aye, boss. Everyone is important. I'll not say these people they do they put less effort. No, everyone in the chain puts 100%. Yeah, so still I'll stick on my answer, everyone.
Okay.
Everyone is important.
Everyone is important.
I cannot have coffee without a farmer. I cannot have a coffee without a roaster. I cannot have a coffee without a producer. So they are all important, and we appreciate their work.
They are all important. So Saddam, let's go into our tutorial for today's show. What are we gonna do today? I see various equipments here.
Yeah. So we are going to have a V60. Yeah, a V60. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So a V60, what's it made of? Like, how was it, or how does it work?
A V60, it's a filter coffee. Yeah. It's a filter coffee. You do it manually. It's not like an espresso whereby it's a machine. You know, you craft it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are going to craft 1 cup for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 cups for us, you know.
2 cups?
Hey.
All right.
Okay.
No problem.
So
2 cups then.
The floor is yours. Give us the tutorial.
See, I'll do one. Then you also do one.
I also do one.
Yeah.
Okay. We have all the time.
You have the time? Cool.
Yeah.
So I'll show you the way we do it. See how I'm folding the folder. Sorry, the paper filter. It should be like this. You lock it down at the tip.
Wow.
Good to go. But before you start the brew, you have to make sure that it's wet. And you should put enough water. So I use approximately 100 to 200 ml of water.
Is a kettle of water. I think you can add in some little water.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Just help me. We decided to keep our water here just to keep the temperature.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like the way you folded the paper filter and threw it over there. I wish we had it in a slow motion. It would really look nice, eh? As you can see the paper filter, and I love the color. Like when you see the color of our paper bag, the cover. Yeah. When you see the color of our paper bag and the color of the filter, something that looks nice when you're making coffee. Eh?
Yeah.
Those are the coffee colors. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to wait our paper filter.
So here I start.
Okay. There you go. I don't know if you guys can hear the sound of the dripping water into the decanter. Oh God. So why is it that you have to like wet it fully like this instead of like just pouring water, and the moment you see that it's wet, I pour out the water? I see you've taken over like 30 seconds while wetting the paper filter.
I should wash it, you know. These papers, they trap dust, and it has its own smell. That peppery taste, you have to kick it out. Yeah. So, can I use it here?
Sure, no worries. You can use. We have all the equipment on the coffee break
I
show.
see.
Yeah.
Even the decanter, you have to
wash it fully. Yeah. Nice.
Good to go.
So this process took like 1 minute.
Yeah, you have to take your time. Time.
Eh?
Time is everything, my brother.
Papa.
Sibya kupapa.
Okay.
Coffee on papira. What we gonna munyomera.
Yeah. So you have your coffee ready.
Yeah.
Which grain size do we have to use specifically?
Medium coarse.
Medium coarse.
Yeah, medium coarse.
Okay.
Let me just keep it here. Medium coarse.
For the V60. Let me ask, does the V60 use the same grain size as the Quimula pour-over, the Clever Dripper, Chemix? Those are 3 equipment so far.
Yeah.
And the AeroPress. Do they use the same grain size?
No. For the Clever Drip, V60 Clever Dripper, then you said which one else?
Chemix.
Chemix? No. So V60 Clever Dripper, you can use the same grain size.
Okay.
Yeah, but for the Chemix, you need something more coarser.
More coarser.
Yeah.
All right.
So you go like 2 clips. Yeah. If you use maybe like a 20 clip, then for the Chemix, you should use maybe 23 to 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it has tiny walls.
Okay. So what next?
So I'm going to dose the coffee, and I'm going to use 20, and I'll use a ratio of 1 to 15.
1 to 15.
Yeah.
How do you guys count ratios?
I wish I can do it with you here. I can show you. So
that's the good thing about the coffee break, because everything is practical right here. So our cameraman will zoom in this as Saddam is doing it, so that he shows you how you count ratios, especially when you're like at home. You need to use this method to show that, or to get ratios of how you can get a good cup of coffee. So Saddam, how do you count ratios?
Okay, so since we are going to use a ratio of, as I told you, it will be 1 to 15, right? So, and the dose is 20.
Why did you put a 0 point something?
0, it represents a number.
Okay.
It cannot show 1, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it cannot show 1. If you say point, how did I say? Anyway, let's first keep it.
Okay.
So, as I told you, we are using 20 grams of coffee. So, a 20 grams of coffee, it will be represented by 300 ml of water.
Is it a standard?
It's the standard.
20 grams have to represent 300 ml of water?
No, it's not like that. But we use ratios.
Okay.
So the first ratio we start with is 15.
Okay.
There is 15, 1 to 15. There is 1 to 16, 1 to 17. These all ratios, they will produce different tests. Tests.
So I can't use a ratio of 2 to 15?
No.
It's not there in coffee?
It's not there.
Wow. Okay.
Not there.
Show us how we can count.
If you use a 12, you will extract something which is underdeveloped. It will be bitter. It will be harsh.
It won't taste good, literally.
Yeah. You will not enjoy your coffee.
Okay.
So in order for you to enjoy the coffee, you need these standards. You need 15 and above.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see how we can get our ratios right here.
So you put the 300 as I told you. 20 to go into the 300. So you divide it by 20.
As you can
it will give 15. This 15 represents 1 gram of water, 1 gram of coffee, which means if you put 1 gram of coffee inside the chamber, you should put 15 grams of coffee. 15 grams of water. Yeah. So in coffee, we shouldn't use ml. we go into grams because there is some particles and solubles. It's a mixture. That's why I use grams. 15 grams, not ml. So you divide the 15, as I told that 15 represent 1 gram. So you can divide the 15 by 20. Sorry, it's 15 by 20, giving you 15. The same thing if you brew this ratio and you find it very strong for you, you can use maybe 16.5, 17, up to you.
All right.
Yeah, so I will just do the 16 by 20.
Gives you 320. Hope you guys saw how it is done right on TV. Yeah. So in case you're at home, please do this and you get the ratios on how you want your coffee to taste. So let's go sit down and make the coffee.
So how does it?
Coffee has to be fresh. Yeah,
it has to be fresh, or is fresh.
Yeah.
Not fresh of one day, no. Should be a fresh of at least 2 weeks. That's 14 days. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is 23, but we said you should use 20.
20 grams.
20 grams. Yeah. One thing about coffee, it will teach you how to be consistent in life.
That's what you talked about at the beginning of the show. You have to be with a notebook and pen, so that you note down these things for consistency. And
after removing the amount of coffee you want, you should make sure you tighten so that it will keep the freshness.
Hope you guys know how to tighten these bags, because whenever you buy these bags in supermarkets, coffee shops, you need to know how to seal it again the moment you open it up again. Okay. I like the aroma and scent that's coming out of the coffee. Yeah. So why are you stirring it like that? To create a hole?
Not a hole, but since it's a cone, I should use this. Since it's a cone, the amount of coffee in the middle, it's more than the one which is on the side. Yeah, so you should make a little bit.
So basically it has to be like in the shape of the equipment.
Exactly.
So if my cameraman could zoom in here and see that cone, it's not flat. There is a cone like the way how this equipment, or the way this V60 is made. So that's why there is this shape right here. Okay.
So let me first add more water.
Nice. So there is no, there's nothing like, okay, it has to be flat so that I can get a flat bed.
Yeah. Anyway, you can keep it flat if you wish, but I prefer it this way.
This way?
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is Free Knowledge live on TV, and this is what the coffee break does for you to understand how to brew coffee. Okay?
Yeah.
I like the way you handle everything gently. I think this is the way how this cup of coffee is going to come out, like in terms of taste.
Of course.
Yeah. So there you're tearing?
Yeah. I have to put it on 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have to measure the amount of water. Yeah, in case if I forgot to tear it, it will give me different results. I may end up putting less water or more water.
Okay.
So it's always good to put it at 0. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I'm going to start. Before you start, you have to start that time. So you should start at the same time. So I'll first put 50 ml of water. Sorry.
My colleague Emma always says whenever they are pouring it like that, he asks himself every time whenever he sees a barista doing that, why do baristas like pour in a swirling or rotational mode?
Yeah.
Why?
The V60 cone, it's made of some narrow, how can I say it? There is some design
the ridges.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it pulls the water in a certain direction. So if I say to pour in a different way, it may affect my cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this is the second pour.
So there are times you pour like You need to pour 4 times, 3 times, 2 times.
Yeah, but all it will depend on what you are looking at.
So that crema, that dark brown crema that's coming on top, does it represent that coffee is really fresh, or it's just because the way you're pouring it?
Sometimes, yeah, it does.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that coffee is fresh?
Yeah, no. Yeah, actually, it doesn't mean that the coffee is fresh, but it represents a good coffee also.
So I had a conversation with some guys some time back, and we were arguing about that. Like, the moment you have your coffee brewing, you don't have to stir, you just have to let it, like, coffee drip into the cup or the decanter. Why did you stir for the coffee in a P60? Now,
in coffee extraction, there is a lot of things which we should all understand. What you're looking at, that will be one of your main reasons why you're doing it. So for me, I'm doing it to increase my extraction levels. Yeah. Secondly, to make sure that every ground it will be hit by water, it will hit the water.
Every ground will be hit by the water. During the blooming process, the first pour, if you bring in this ground to be mixed with water at this point where you start in, won't it affect the cup of the taste of the cup of coffee, because it didn't mix with water at first and didn't maybe like take away the astringent flavors at first? Won't it like affect the cup of coffee, because now when you stir it, it's going to mix with the other beans or with the other grounds that have been immersed or infused with coffee?
No, it will not affect.
It won't?
Yeah, it won't.
So you mean like one particle of coffee doesn't affect a cup of coffee?
It does. Yeah, it does. But in extraction, in brewing,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah.
So, and we're done?
Yeah, we are done. Very simple.
Guys, look at how the coffee
so our extraction
means
our time is 3 minutes.
3 minutes
of extraction,
and you're done with your nice cup of coffee.
Of course,
I like the lighter bit of it. It's not something that looks like it's strong.
Yeah.
And something that you can drink over and over and over and over again. So we get our cups right here. You guys, I can't wait. Very nice. I can't wait to have this cup of coffee right here on a coffee break made by barista Saddam Muchivi, who is a former barista at Enduro Coffee, but also is head barista of Ali Kahawa. It's something
I'll teach you how to say it.
Let me have my toes and nice. That's enough for me.
All right.